Hi John, how are things?
Good, thank you.
Firstly, the big news is obviously that Sam Monaghan returns to the side for Saturday. How big a boost is that for you?
Oh, Sam, very important player for us. You know, we saw her form in earlier in the competition, and you know, credit to Sam, the way she's worked really hard to make sure she's fit for this game. And yeah, we're looking for her skill as a player, but also her leadership within the group.
Listened to the girls the other day at the press conference. I think it was Brittany Hogan that was saying that although that third place finish will qualify you automatically for the World Cup, they're not putting any pressure on themselves to go for that. What's the kind of thinking behind that, the mentality of not kind of targeting that?
Well, the focus for us this week is the performance we bring against Scotland at Kingspan. That's all we're focused in on, and what is in our control is how we approach that game and how we actually, you know, play in the game. What the level of performance we bring, and that's what's in our control. I mean, other things of how we finish in the competition depends on other things, maybe on other results. But certainly for us, you know, we bring our best game to Kingspan and play really well. Positions in the table will look after themselves.
In terms of that then, does that mean if you are just focusing on yourselves, there won't be any communication with the girls in terms of how the results before them have gone? Is that the best way to do it?
Oh, look, obviously that other game is earlier than ours, so the result will be known, and yeah, a lot of people will know what's required going into the game. But that wouldn't be our primary focus as our motivator or our psychology going into a game. Our motivator will be the performance we can bring against Scotland and bringing a performance that firstly and foremostly, you know, makes the team be proud of, but also for our supporters, so that they see a performance that they can be really proud of and get behind.
Great stuff. Thank you, John.
Hi John, how are things? Neil here in RT.
Good, thanks. Hi, Neil.
Katie Heffernan set to make her debut off the bench. For those who haven't seen her in action for the Sevens or during the Celtic Challenge, what can you tell us about her as a player?
Oh, look, Katie, you know, is obviously a player who's been in the Sevens program for a while. You know, across the two programs, there's certainly, you know, a lot more crossover now that the centralised program is more established. Katie had some good opportunity to play 15s in the Celtic Challenge. Really showed, you know, a highly skilled player, but also, you know, a tough mental resolve to play well in her position in the centres. And you know, she was with us at the start of the campaign, went away to Hong Kong with the Sevens, and it's been back training with us this week. And as you know, we always say that you know, training performance will people who put their hands up in their training performance, you know, also put their hands up for selection, and Katie's certainly done that this week.
Regardless of what happens this weekend, what progress have you seen out of the team throughout the course of this camp?
Oh, look, I think probably first and foremost we're starting to develop some more depth around our squad. You can see that from the selections that you know, that different players have come in and be able to perform at that level. So that's very important for us going forward. Our conditioning and our general resilience to be able to play at the level of intensity of international rugby has really improved, you know, compared to this time 12 months ago. And I think that, you know, it's reflected on the fact that we go into the last week of the campaign and pretty well all our players are available for selection.
That's great. Thanks a million, John. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Have you any more live questions for John?
Hi, Richard Petrie, BBC Northern Ireland here. I was just wondering, John, what you think the main threats or challenges that Scotland pose are?
Oh, look, we know Scotland are a good team, and you know, we really respect you know, our opposition coming to this game. They're a well balanced team across the park. You know, they're certainly got a lot of stability around their forward pack. we're going to have to be really on top of our game there, and that, because that will lay the platform for us, but also, to maybe be able to put them under some pressure around their back line. That they've made a few changes, so it'll be interesting to see there, some of them forced and some of them obviously selection wise. So we see it as a couple of very even teams going into this competition, and for us, it's not so much focusing on Scotland, it's about focusing on the game that we can bring, the performance that we can bring.
And was it difficult at all, sort of the emotional roller coaster of coming from the big high of the good win and performance against Wales to the low against England? Were you able to sort of recover and put that behind them yourselves pretty quickly? Yeah,
certainly. It was a tough week last week, and really hard. Coming up against England at Twickenham, but they were on fire, and we were probably just a few percentage points below our best, and the result was a consequence. But credit to Scott, the head coach, and the players. The way we addressed that in London. Before we departed from home with a resolve to bounce back, and credit to the players this week, how they've really worked really hard in the task. We've trained well. We trained really hard yesterday, and to set ourselves up in the best position to bounce back and put in a really peak performance this week.